There's a moment in life when the ground beneath you shifts, when the person you trust most looks you in the eye and lies without hesitation. For me, that moment came in the early 2000s. I had a wife, 2 young kids, 4 and 6 years old, and what I thought was a stable, happy marriage. But then, little things started slipping through the cracks. Our kids began mentioning how often they stayed with their grandparents. At first, it didn't seem strange, except my in-laws live an hour and a half away. And yet, 2, sometimes 3 times a week, my wife would pack them up, drive all the way out there, and bring them back later in the day. When I asked her about it, she brushed me off. They love spending time with the kids, she said. It's no big deal. But there was something in her voice, a hesitation, a flicker of nerves. She had never been a good liar. So I started paying closer attention. I checked the mileage on her car. For 100 extra miles a week. That wasn't just a trip to her parents' house and back. That was a detour to somewhere else. Then one afternoon, I sat down at our computer and saw it. A yellow sticky note with her AOL password written in her messy handwriting. I stared at it for a long time. I knew I shouldn't, but I had to know. I logged in, and there they were. Emails between her and her college best friend. Laughing, joking, talking about how she'd been meeting up with her high school ex-boyfriend, how they grab lunch, then disappear into some cheap motel for hours before she picked the kids back up. And the worst part? She was mocking his wife, calling her fat, saying she deserved to be cheated on. I felt sick, but more than that, I felt rage. Cold, methodical rage. I printed those emails. And then I got to work. I called an old friend of mine, a cop. He put me in touch with a private investigator named Ron. I handed over everything I had, the emails, the mileage discrepancies, the gut feeling that had been eating at me for weeks. Ron didn't disappoint. A few days later, he came back with a full report. Dates, times, photos. My wife and this guy, let's call him Bob, walking into a motel together, smiling like it was nothing. But Ron dug deeper. Turns out Bob wasn't just some random guy. He was a VP at his father-in-law's company, married, 3 kids, living in a house his wife's parents owned. Oh, this was going to be good. I hired a divorce lawyer. My parents' marriage had ended in cheating, and I swore I'd never let my kids go through that kind of chaos. But I wasn't done yet. I asked Ron for one more favor. On the same day my wife was served divorce papers at her job, Ron paid a visit to Bob's wife. He handed her everything, the emails, the photos, the motel receipts. And let me tell you, she unleashed hell. She drained their joint accounts, took the kids. Her father fired Bob on the spot. Then came the eviction notice. But it didn't stop there. Bob showed up at the house, screaming, demanding to see his kids. His wife's brother stepped in, and Bob, he left with a broken nose, restraining orders, police reports, jail time. Last I heard, he vanished, left the state entirely. His ex-wife, she took over her father's company, thrived. As for my ex, we co-parented. Nothing more. Now that the kids are grown, I don't even think about her, because at the end of the day, they both got exactly what they deserved. Some people say revenge is petty, but sometimes it's not about revenge. It's about justice. And justice was served. If you've ever been betrayed, ever felt that fire in your chest when someone you trusted stabs you in the back, then you understand. This wasn't just about me. It was about the other person they betrayed, Bob's wife. She deserved the truth, and I made damn sure she got it. So tell me, what's the most satisfying revenge story you've ever heard? Drop a like, hit subscribe, and let's hear in the comments. Because karma always comes collecting.